All right, let's talk about something that hits close to home for, well, pretty much everyone, no matter what your bank account looks like. We're going to pinpoint the single biggest money mistake you might be making right now. And I promise you, it's probably not what you think. So, let's start with the big one. We're all kind of conditioned to believe that a bigger paycheck is the cure-all, right? You get that promotion, you land that high-paying gig, and all your financial stress will just melt away. But is that really how it works out? Well, the surprising answer is not really. The reality is a whole lot more nuanced. You see, more money doesn't actually get rid of financial problems. It just swaps them out for a different set. The trap that can sink you when you're making, say, $30,000 a year is totally different from the one that trips up somebody making $300,000. Every level has its own unique pitfall. Okay, so let's start at the foundation. When money is really tight, you're not thinking about some grand 5-year plan. No, you're thinking about how to get through the next 5 days. And that feeling of scarcity, it creates a very specific kind of pressure. I bet this sounds familiar to a lot of people. I just need to get through this month. It's the voice of pure survival mode. And it's a completely rational way to think when you're facing an immediate crisis, but it's also the exact mindset that opens the door to the #1 mistake at this income level. And that's where this beast comes in. When you need cash, like right now, high-interest debt can seem like a life raft. Payday loans, cash advances, maxing out the credit cards, they all feel like a quick fix. But that life raft has a massive leak, and it's called compounding interest. It traps you with rates that grow way faster than you can possibly pay them down. And you can see exactly how this trap snaps shut, right? It all starts with one unexpected problem. Maybe your car breaks down. You use that high-interest debt to fix it. But now you're on this treadmill where all your money is just going to feed the interest, not the actual debt. And before you can even catch your breath, another emergency hits. This cycle just repeats, and you get pulled in deeper and deeper. Now let's say you've moved up a bit. You have a steady job, a pretty decent salary. You're not in survival mode anymore. You've made it to that middle income level. But here's the thing. A new, much quieter, almost sneakier trap is awaiting for you. And there it is. You can almost hear the voice in your head, can't you? You get a raise, and your mind immediately jumps to what you can upgrade. A nicer car, a bigger apartment, better vacations. And you tell yourself, hey, I work hard. I've earned this. And that feeling, that sense that you deserve a reward, that's exactly where the problem starts. This, my friends, is the big one for middle earners: lifestyle inflation. It's when your spending habits expand to perfectly fill your new, larger income. Kind of like how a gas expands to fill whatever container it's in. Your paychecks get bigger, sure, but at the end of the month, you've got just as little left over as you did before. You're running faster, but financially, you're staying in the exact same place. And it's crazy how naturally this happens. You barely even notice it. First, that 5% raise kicks in. Then suddenly the monthly payment on that new SUV seems totally doable. And just like that, without even thinking about it, your ability to save money just flatlines. Because your spending went up by 5% too. You haven't actually improved your financial future. You've just made your life more expensive. And this chart just lays it out perfectly. Look, your new salary is higher. And yeah, the dollar amount you're saving might be a little bigger, but look at the percentage, your savings rate. It hasn't budged. It's still stuck at 10%. That means you are no closer to financial freedom than you were before the raise. This is the middle income trap in a nutshell. Okay, so what about the high rollers, the people making big money? Surely once you're clearing multiple 6 figures, you're in the clear, right? The problems have to be gone by then. Well, not quite. The problems just get way more complex and honestly a lot more dangerous. Just look at this number. 36%. What is that? That's the percentage of people earning over $250,000 a year who say they are living paycheck to paycheck. I mean, that is just mind-boggling. It doesn't seem like it should be possible. So you've got to ask, how on earth is that even possible? It's not like they're all out there buying solid gold cars. The real mistake high earners make is way less flashy and a lot more subtle. It's not about what they're buying, it's about how they're managing. So here's where we get it wrong. We think high earners are losing their money on these big, risky, exciting bets. But the real problems are the boring things, like not having an efficient tax plan, or creating a financial life that's so complicated they can't even keep track of it. But the biggest killer?
plain old overconfidence, assuming they know what they're doing, which leads to huge, silent losses they don't see until it's too late. So we've looked at 3 totally different traps: high-interest debt, lifestyle inflation, and unnecessary complexity. They seem like they're worlds apart, but what if I told you there's one single unifying principle that connects them all, a rule that applies to you whether you make 30 grand or 3 million? And here it is. This is the one thing I really want you to take away from all this. It is not about how much money you make. It is all about what you do with the money you have. A person with great habits and a modest income will, over time, always build more wealth than someone with terrible habits and a giant income. Your habits are the engine. Your paycheck is just the fuel. So let's just pull it all together one last time. For low incomes, the big mistake is high interest debt, and it's driven by that short-term survival mindset. For middle incomes, it's lifestyle inflation, and it's fueled by that I deserve it feeling. And for high incomes, it's making things needlessly complex, born from overconfidence. Every single stage has a trap, and it's baited with a very specific mindset.
Look, the point of all this wasn't to scare you. It was to arm you, to give you a kind of map so you can see the traps ahead of time and just walk around them. By knowing the specific pitfall for your stage, you can see it coming. So the real question is, now that you can see the path a little more clearly, what's your very next move?